Come and get started on a new mission, a new direction, a new intention. Welcome to 5.8G Alive at Connections 50 Plus. I am Terry-Ann Joseph Brathwaite.
And I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph, catering to all your prospects in the third act of life.
Economic well-being, social gratification, personal fulfillment.
Join us on Wednesday at 6 p.m. on Connections 50 Plus Facebook page, YouTube channel,
and on Gael the Caribbean. Good afternoon, 5.8G crew. How are you? Welcome to 5.8G Alive this evening. I am Terry-Ann Joseph-Brathwaite, one of the co-creators of Connections 50 Plus, which brings you 5.8G Alive. With me as usual.
Hi, welcome, and good evening to you. I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph, the other co-creator of Connections 50 Plus. Terry-Ann.
Listen, Jennifer, last week we started off our new theme, our new session. We had Nicole Joseph-Chin, and some people were asking, oh, listen to Joseph, Jennifer Gibbons Joseph, Terry-Ann Joseph.
Yes.
Nobody related to anybody.
Isn't that something?
But we started the discussion of, are you comfortable in your skin? Are you comfortable? And we are putting it there, we given the premise that one of the fundamental reasons that a lot of us don't find or find ourselves not happy, not settled, not relaxed, is there are many areas of looking at discomfort. So, Jen, let's jump into In Tune and let us try and break the key of this comfort story. Nice.
Yeah, Terry-Ann, you say, are you comfortable in your own skin? And I ask myself first, what will make me uncomfortable? I want to start there. Why would you be uncomfortable? Why is somebody uncomfortable?
Yeah.
And what comes to mind, the first thing is, entertaining happy about me. If I'm comfortable in a situation, I feel uncomfortable, I go back to feel I'm not settled, I'm not happy, I need something is happening in that situation that I don't like. That I don't like. And why? So, with that question, are you happy in your own skin? And we did touch on that with Nicole in terms of, I think first, in asking ourselves that question, we first have to look at, and who am I? Am I somebody who very fussy or picky? People say that. Or it's because you're too fussy, it's because you're too picky, it's because there's always some reason why.
Selective, Jennifer, selective.
Yeah. But the thing about it is, you really need to know yourself. Because Terry-Ann, you may be very comfortable in a situation, I may not be. And let me use a simple example. I remember in my younger days, my husband at that time, he liked going to the clubs, the pubs, and hang and line with friends. And he loved me to come along so we could sit down and lime and drink. And that was I'm not comfortable in that environment because I found it's too much talk. When I say talk, the type of conversation wasn't my type of conversation. So in that particular environment, that wasn't me. And he used to say, but oh, this is so much, this is it. This is where the lime is. This is where the lime is. And to me, everybody there really seemed very happy and comfortable in their own skin in that situation. But I was not. And I tell him, I say, listen, you go and enjoy yourself. I am more comfortable in a different environment.
Yeah.
And if you have to check it out and say, why not everybody happy? Why are you not comfortable? Is because I did not like and still don't like a noisy environment.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and if there is conversation, to me, it must be topics that, again, let's go back to comfort, that I enjoy talking about, and not the hey old talk. You understand? So it
Rum
goes
chop
back
talk.
to checking, yeah, to checking myself to say what would make me comfortable.
Mm.
And at this stage in my life, I think I have enough experience over the years to know me and to know what will make me comfortable. And my goal is to be comfortable in my own skin,
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah.
So I will start like
Yeah.
that.
I would tend to agree with you. When I think of, I listened to Nicole last week and I was struck by when she said she was preparing to, and she was 49 and she thought about this 50 and how would she prepare for it. And it started by looking at herself and figuring out, who are you? And when I think about myself, I really can't say that there is, I am a very flexible person. And the only thing that I will get very uncomfortable. And with that uncomfortableness comes unhappiness. And with that unhappiness comes a kind of own way kind of behavior that most people might not like. But I I feel different ways at different times. And I would have no problem with many different types of environment. I could line with the highest, with the lowest, with the in-betweens. But I may probably be described as moody and sometime-ish because what I was comfortable with yesterday, I may not have any patience for today. But I have no desire to change anybody and what they are doing or what they like. I reserve the right to exclude myself or to pull back. If I'm in a space and it's not where I feel to be, whether it is spiritually, whether it is emotionally, even if I have committed to be there, I will find the quickest and most polite way to excuse myself and come out of it. And I think a lot of people would probably say, but how she bike so? Oh, why?
Yeah.
But for me, comfort is having the freedom to be at ease emotionally and mentally. And you see, as I get older, being in situations that are in alignment with my values, you see, around honesty, graft, when you're trying to gossipy and just not those kinds of environments, I have really low tolerance for. And I just wish to excuse myself. And my comfort comes from having taken my power back. I talk about agency and saying, okay, not now, not making a big scene, not demanding that the environment be changed to suit me. I will take my exit or I will go to the sidelines, but I really don't appreciate sometimes you say I am not comfortable with this, and people have a habit of trying to explain to you why it's not a problem and you should get comfortable with it. I am not that person. And I think I find that I am peaceful and happy most of the times because I give myself permission to remove myself from situations that will cause me to be uncomfortable and antsy, you know?
You know, Terry, and that saying, being comfortable in your own skin. Many people do believe also that if you are comfortable in your own skin, then if you go into an environment or in a space that it is not where you really would want to be, that if it is, you say you're comfortable in your own skin, you should be able to be there and not let the things around you affect you.
If you choose,
You know,
if you choose to.
and that I tend not to agree with. I feel because I am comfortable in my own skin, I could walk away.
Yeah, because it's your choice.
Yeah, that I choose. I don't have to remain to please anybody who say, "Oh God, but you know, nothing wrong with that." Yeah, and you're cool, you're comfortable. Just sit down and relax. You know, they will tell you that. Um, but no, I feel because this is who I am. If I don't want to be in that space, in that environment, I could leave. And I will feel very comfortable saying, okay, I'm gone. So that for me, to be comfortable in your own skin, you must be able, and Nicole said it, this healthy no. You should be able, I should say, know when to say no, to protect your peace, to protect your peace of mind, to know that hey, you could walk away in situations. And that would be really, and I'm referring to an environment and a space. But and you mentioned there about values. So when you look at values also, um, you may not be happy because of to accept certain situations because you know it is not you. It's not something you would condone. But again, someone say, well, okay, I may not believe that, but if they want to do it as their business, I feel if I do that, I become part of that situation. To me, I endorse in something that I don't agree with. If I'm comfortable in my own skin, I should be able to voice, listen, this is not, and I'm saying I should be able, this is what I do actually. This is me, how I operate. So I would say, see, that is not me. I don't agree with that. If I feel to go further and say why I may say it, but the fact is that if I don't agree with it, I am not endorsing it and I'm not encouraging you to continue. I prefer walk away. If I can't walk away, at least let you know that I am not part of that situation. And that helps keep me grounded because it comes, you know, you have to have a center, you have to be centered, you have to be grounded. And to me, to be comfortable in your own skin, you should have that center. You should feel grounded where you can go within and say, hey, I'm not allowing that situation or what is happening get to me, taint my belief, you know? So these are ways that I feel I will interpret being comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah. I suppose you started off by saying you need to know where you are not comfortable. And when you look at it from I am thinking of what I'm not comfortable in, that's one perspective. And it could tell you where you are not to be.
Yeah.
But I think equally important is to know what brings you comfort. And you can, a big part of my being comfortable and having, just as I demand and protect my rights to be comfortable. I respect people's rights to be however they want to be. And I, like you, I also respect my right to choose to join you or not to join you.
Mm-hmm.
It will always be my choice. If you don't, I mean, I will use I will use an example. And this is a joke with my friends. Some of my friends listening will roll on the ground with this. I have never taken drugs in my entire life. I have never even smoked a joint. I don't know what to be high from marijuana is. I have smoked 2 cigarettes in my life. I have smoked a regular one and then a menthol to see if it improved at all. It didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that was that. But I have many, many friends who smoke marijuana, who use drugs, and I will be hanging out and you're doing your stuff and you're doing your stuff. I'll hang out and I'm right there with you. I have no problem. You do what you're doing and I'll do what you're doing. I know what my poison is. You keep it to your poison. And very often they say, Taryn, what's wrong? You know, try something, do something. And they remain my friends because they understand it. And I said, no, I don't need to do that. I'm having as much fun as you all are. And I can be the not high one here, and we have an equal amounts of fun. And I think that there is as you say, a center point where you fully know who you are, and that you does not have to change depending on the environment that you are in. And I think a lot of pressure is brought to bear on so many of us because we tend to become like a chameleon. We change to suit the environment that we in. So if we in this social setting, or we in this economic setting, or you mixing with people that you perceive to be of a certain type, then you adjust your behavior, your likes, your desires to that. And sometimes we put ourselves into so much trouble. As opposed to, okay, I'm hanging with the well-to-do, or I am with the very poor. And there's a difference between having common sense and common courtesy to not embarrass people by your choices, but still remaining true to yourself. And I think too many of us try to, especially, force ourselves up to keep up with the Joneses, as it were. And then when we mix with those that are below us, we put a lot of effort into pointing out that I am not like you. And it creates tension that does not help you to stay balanced and at ease. And I think we have to have the ability, knowing ourselves, as Nicole said, who am I? What do I value? And can I move through any environment, not having to stay, not having to become the environment, and be at peace? I think that is also another part of being comfortable.
Yeah. The other spin on this too, Terry, and we're looking, of course, the 50 plus.
Mm-hmm.
Many people come on to this stage, this 50 plus stage, and Nicole was saying how she prepared, for this stage. But they come on this stage too with a lot of hang-ups and want to be accepted. All right? Especially if they came out of in the hierarchy, some position, and they no longer have that position, they want to be accepted. And in doing that, when they are out, whether it's socializing or when there is a decision to make, they may take the popular decision, not what they really believe,
Yeah.
but what they feel they should say, they may act how they feel that people will want them to act, doing these things just because they want to be liked. And if you make that a habit and continue making it a habit, at some stage, by the time you do make that decision or act in a certain way that is not really you, when you get home and you think back of what you did, you don't feel comfortable about it. And I raise that issue because when you talk about not comfortable in your own skin, when you're doing things just to be liked and to maintain the status quo, it will be very difficult for you to start being comfortable in your own skin. So you're kind of going
If those
against your
things are
grain.
contrary to what you want to do.
Yeah, you're going against your grain. And that is something we have to look at because I mean, as we age on this stage, I think one of the goals really is to be comfortable, in your own skin because we have passed that stage where we're trying to please others all the time and do things for others and we're not ourselves. This stage for me is the stage where, and Nicole mentioned it, we want to be authentic. We want to do the things that gives us joy, that makes us comfortable and not, compromise our values and our beliefs and really all the things that we say, yes, we can do this now, but oh gosh, what they will say, what they will say about us.
And
So that is something we should look at.
I think one of the major problems there, and this is a real issue, is that many of us arrive on the stage and we talk about it as part of the transitioning from the second act to the third act. The last time that you were you was when you were on the first stage. You were in your teens, you were in your 20s. You were not running up the career ladder or hustling to get your kids organized and the home made and whatever it is. Yeah. And for many of us, it's been 30, 40 years since we were in a place where we could make a choice that really is our own. And I think the challenge is that how do we find out what we really like, as opposed to what we are accustomed doing? And how do we find out who we really are? Because very often you have to do a whole rediscovery or not rediscovery, discovery, because life experiences change you. So you're not going to be the person that you were at 20 or in your early 30s. At 50, at 60, that adults is life experience would have changed you, your perspective would have changed on different things. And I think what causes a lot of trouble with some people is trying to figure out, well, I'm making decisions as I would have made it in the social context of job, seeking promotion, security, or in the social context of the children and the PTA and the mother-in-law, the father, or the parents, or the neighborhood, or whatever it is. And when you get all those responsibilities dropped off of you, okay, you're comfortable in the home where they have a good long-term rent, whether the mortgage nearly finished pay, or the children go on and the cost of maintaining your household is lower and you can manage on the pension. And you sit down and all those things you used to do before, you don't need to do it again. I think a lot of people come up with a big canvas, and that is a blank canvas, sorry. And that is where we begin to grab without reflection to fill up this space. So then it's social media, it's TV, it's movies, is you look around and you find that person looking real interesting. I like what their life looks like. Let me try to do that. And look at this one. and we don't sit back and appreciate the fact that we now have capacity and competence, and what would I really have fun doing? Regardless of what is going on out there, you could still go out there and participate and have fun and things like that. But at core, what would I like to do with myself and my time and my talents? And I don't know that many of us take the time for that reflection. And that puts us in an uncomfortable place.
Terry, and we talk of this a lot. We have varying topics, and of course, we have guests like Dr. Rouse, and we have different people coming on to share their thoughts and to help us on this journey. And I would say it seemed to be very difficult for us at this stage to find out what we really like. I remember in one of our exercises, and when we're doing our transition and retirement program, and you ask them, what do you really like? You know, you get some blank faces, like after all the years, you reach this stage, like you're not sure what you really like. And I remember the first time we asked that question, we were just watching, and you're asking yourself, but you don't really know what you like? You say, we're not sure, you know. And I think you will start from there. I would suggest we start from there, asking that simple question, what you really like. And you could add to that, going with the team we are on, what would really make you comfortable. Right? So we go further, not just what you like, but what will make you comfortable. And you break it down. What will make you comfortable in life? What would make you really, we have asked the question about happiness and all that, but we're using comfort now. And it could be simple things that could give you that comfort. It could be who you want to be around you. Who are the friends you're going to call to say, let's do something? Because I said it before, my friends are in categories. They are all beautiful. I know if I want on the spiritual side, I know who I'm going to call because I'm going to be very comfortable with that person worshiping God, you know, being open about that. I have some friends I know they are not the one to call because they will start with a negative. All right. So you know that if I want to socialize, I know who to call because I know that friend loves, I could love being in their company. We could line, party, and just have fun. You know, so I was in my case, I'm fortunate. I have a list of friends for different things. But you can decide it may not be friends, it may be the space you want to create to be comfortable in. So some people say, I don't like to go out at all, I want to stay home. But they stay home and they're complaining. And we spoke about that before. You create that environment. You know, if you want to go hang with friends and we talk, every time we talk, we'd have to say men and women, we're talking to. Because you may find, oh, men easy, but they and all may not be comfortable, you know, the same way. So when you check yourself, what makes you comfortable? What would make you comfortable? And when you're not comfortable, Terry-Ann, I think it should be noted. Why are you not comfortable? Is it because you don't like music? You don't like, you know, what it is happening? You're in an environment where it's a lot of loud noise and you don't want that, or you don't like the space you're in, or the people around you don't have the same values. It varies with each of us. So when you start to question, is there something we don't like to do? Something we don't like to do. Because we feel at this stage that we know it all. We know ourselves. We know what will make us happy. But when you really check it out, is you doing it because of somebody, because your parent wanted to do that, because somebody, or right through work, you always used to do X. Some people tell me that, oh, I always used to do that in work, so I comfortable. I accustomed getting up X or going to bed as X. I will continue doing that because that is what I'm accustomed to. But were you comfortable getting up that early? or going to bed that late, you know? So I think that is where we can start at this stage in our lives. Ask the question. It may sound like a simple thing, but we need to question ourselves and keep questioning. Let me tell you what. These days very rainy, so I can't get up and do all the things. I love to go to the gym. I like to go walking. I like the gardening, and I'm all excited because plenty rain. I have to make the garden looking good. But I can't do that. You know what I do, Terry? I still do it at this stage. I keep saying I plan my life 10 years. I plan 10 years, right? So I am 70 to 80. So I have my thing worked out. I want to be healthy. I want to be this. I reflect the things that made me happy in the earlier days. What made me happy last year? What did I do? What brought joy to me? What can I repeat? Seriously, I keep doing that, especially if I feel that I going into any, I wouldn't not depression, but starting to think negative. I'm all about energy. You know, I try my best not to allow negative energies coming into me. It don't always work, but when it come in, I'm telling you, try my best to get it out. And to do that, I normally reflect on the positives, not the negatives. And when you do that, Terry, there's so many positives, so many positives. When you're complaining, but you don't have this, give me a break. How much thing you have? You have life. When you know, so that's how I deal with it, and that makes me extremely comfortable. You know, when I come out of that mode, because I have time, we have time, eh? We have much more time than before. So you could say, okay, look at the time and say, oh, I can't do so and so the next hour. I just go in and reflect and have a good time. Or I will watch something that I feel I'm all about comedy, something light, something light. I must say this morning I was feeling in that mood and I search and I listening to Joyce Myers talk, you know, all the positives and pulling from it. So you do things like that to stay grounded, to stay centered. So that's my little piece of advice for
I
you
think
know, being comfortable.
I think that is and one of the things I absolutely agree with you. And I know there are so many people who cannot do that for themselves because they're just not that self-propelled. They just don't know how to introspect. And
Yeah.
I always say, because when we see some of those blank faces in some of our workshops, I think it's a helpful task to ask someone who has spent a lot of time with you. Not necessarily somebody can say, yes, it could be a partner, but also ask someone who would have spent time working with you, a neighbor, a supervisor, a colleague. I think people who grew up with you. And sometimes when you don't know what makes you happy, just asking them, when do you see me happiest? And sometimes the answers that come back shock you, you know. Shock you. Sometimes you will ask a sibling, you know, all the time you know me. When you see me vex and when you see me happy, what's got me vex? What makes me happy? And sometimes that third party view brings a perspective to you that you never knew. Another thing you can do, if you don't have someone who you can go to say, you know, from your perspective, what makes me happy or what gets me angry or whatever it is, reflect and think about, what do people keep coming to me for? You know, what am I the go-to person for? What situation do I naturally find myself in the middle of and get it sorted out? Or, you know, because sometimes if we ask to think of ourselves, there's some people who can't do it. You know, people ask me, how are you so self-aware? I became self-aware at a very, very young age. And I will tell you, it had to do with being involved in the performing arts and having to get on a stage. And I always remember Joyce Curtin, who was the creative director of Les Enfants, where I used to dance, saying, you're in the middle of the stage, you have a place on this stage, you must know where you are in relation to every single thing on the stage, but own your space. And so you just grow up understanding, all right, this is the stage has to be balanced, and this is my space, and where are your hands, where are your feet, what is going on with your shoulders? And you know, it's I always encourage people to get, even as old as we are, and we had the show where we had the people doing creative, do something creative, do something that causes you to perform for others. Not just perform for yourself, but to perform for others. Performing for others could be charity. Performing for others could be just spending time with somebody. In that process, we begin to learn about ourselves if we don't know ourselves. And we begin to discover, but I really had a nice time doing that. You know, I really enjoyed that kind of thing. And I think once we begin to learn how to ask, if you can't do the introspection that you spoke about, Jennifer, you can ask other people, what do you think? And if you don't have somebody to ask that, you can just reflect on your life and think about what situations do I end up. And that's your hints to where you can be and what kinds of things that you like. But you know, Jennifer, when we talk about self-awareness, which is, I think we agree is the key to comfort, we were talking about a word, compromise. And so many of us have spent so much time compromising, whether it is with just keeping the peace with colleagues on the job, keeping the job because you need the money for the job, with our children, you know, you want to wring the necks, you want to do different things, but you're swallowing. Oh Lord, with relationships, whether you have a relationship, you don't have a relationship, or you have one that you don't like, whatever it is.
Yes.
We spend so much time compromising that the compromised person is like the only person you know. And people struggle to figure out, am I compromising? What is preventing me from changing my mind? And I think, Jennifer, that is one of the biggest blocks of discomfort.
Most people compromise for peace, they sell it for peace. Because in some cases, especially when you talk about relationships and things, now that you're agreeing, you know, you say, you know what, all right, because I don't have the energy. and I grew up hearing, for peace sake, I just go along, you know. But we do have to be careful. We have to be careful. So that is like internalizing the negative. But you know what I want to also bring up is the positive self-talk.
Mhm.
And again, these are things we will talk about a lot. We put down ourselves a lot. And we said it. We very critical of a lot about others, but also about ourselves. And we sometimes believe the negatives that people feed into us, you know, and to combat that, to help with that type of negativity, we should engage in a lot of the positive self-talk. That when we do look in the mirror instead of finding fault, and we could find fault, especially when we aging. We seeing all the wrinkles, all everything that is negative, because we shouldn't see anything about any wrinkle, anything. And if we engage in that self-talk and praise ourselves, not wait for somebody else to praise us. We're thankful for being alive, how we look, being able to speak, having friends. Man, we are thankful for so many things. And I would say we rephrase. So when we look into that mirror, or if you're not in the mirror and you just look at yourself when you're walking and you realize, oh God, my knee, my hip, my all parts of me. Even if you say it or think it, you rephrase it. So, for instance, Tarian, if I having this knee issue and I see this swelling and I look at it and I say, you know what? And I told a friend today, she said, "How are we going?" I said, "Girl, I'm walking." I can walk. I thank God for being able to walk, and that we can get rid of that. But you speak positive into, they say speak life into things. That is a habit, because we have the habit of talking negative. We have the habit of looking at all the negatives. They look around the house and they say, "Oh God, I need to change something." Instead of saying, "Oh God, thank God I could sit down here." So we ourselves, we know the negatives that come into our heads all the time. But as they come, if you think something, rephrase it and say something else about it.
Yeah.
Right? If you find I have a friend now, before the arms were too fat when we were younger, and she had big arms. Now in aging, it's shrinking. So the arms are small. So recently she said, "Oh, good, I could only wear long sleeves, I say, "Why?" "Oh, you see these arms?" I say, "What's wrong with that?" So instead of say, "Hey, thank God you have arms." And even if you don't have long sleeve, people know you're aging, and this is sign of age. You're looking good. So you're looking good for your age. You're looking good with your arms like that. You're looking good. So that is my thing. Change that tone. Be more positive, and even if you stay negative, and if you're told something negative that makes you uncomfortable, just repeat it. Let the person know that, "Listen, I don't want you to tell me this. If you're talking to me, tell me so and so." Nothing wrong with that. It's how you say it. Yep.
Yeah. I just think vanity is a great trait to have when you're at this stage. So
Makes you comfortable.
morning, I have a full length mirror. I just watch at myself. I say, "You are so gorgeous with every
Looking good.
nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong." And I utterly believe it. There are things that can be improved, and I will work on improving them, but nothing wrong. Everything in place as it should, and proceed.
I don't want anybody in the outside telling me about not looking this and no. I don't want to hear from you. If you're telling me something, find something good to tell me. Find something positive to tell me. Because I am being positive to me.
I don't care if you're saying anything. Love your opinion. I going on, and I think, Jennifer, that at the end of the day, we have to, if we go on to the third act stage, not understanding the skin and understanding who these last 50, 60 years have brought us, because this is an achievement. It is an achievement to be here in this corpus with this mind, with this. We work hard for this,
I know you can't turn back the clock. Forget about turning back the clock. It's on a journey. And this is the stage we are on a journey.
As I say, the people who, my view is, I have worked hard to be here. And I think this is the trophy that I've been presented with all that I've done. And it's a shiny, wonderful trophy. So come on, put it up on a shelf and let's see what other trophy we're going to get going forward. And as I say, that is what I call constructive vanity. you know, what other people say. My mother used to say something to us as small children, and I always remember it. Embarrassment is an emotion or a feeling that you choose to have. You know,
Yeah.
you can't embarrass me unless I decide I go in and be embarrassed too. Otherwise, you're saying something that I don't accept. So continue talking, but I'm going ahead where I'm going. And to me, that is the self-centered, as you say, you're grounded. You're not
Yeah.
narcissistic. You're not self-absorbed. You understand you are in the world with other people, and you can't just grab space for yourself and be totally indifferent to how your actions are impacting other people. But you have to, as they say, because you know who you are, you have to be able to stand your ground, claim your ground, as Judge Gutton used to say, know where you are on the stage and what movements you are making. So what space you need, and if somebody is in
Yeah.
your way, you know, I find a nice way to shift them out of your
You
way.
actually have to, in some cases they say, get a whole new outlook of life,
Yeah. Yes.
you know,
Yes.
because this is the
Created by
stage. You don't know
you.
it before. You
Created
never
by you.
experienced it before. Yeah, you never experienced it before. So this whole thing is new to you. You need to embrace it,
Yeah. Yeah.
not reject it. It is not making sense to reject it,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
right? So you embrace it and you look for all the positives and things that could have you very, very comfortable. That, I love it when people say to me, "Oh, Jennifer, you ain't have no worries, you cool. Look how you happy." I'm glad I embrace it. Think, I'm going down the road and say, what? I am really happy.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
What and so even if somebody comes and say, gosh, Gillian, you're smiling, but look, and you have to deal with this. And I say, okay, I'm happy dealing with it. I find ways to deal with it.
Yeah.
So it's how you're thinking. So yeah, a whole new outlook on
Mhm.
this stage
Yes.
and to be very comfortable in your own skin. Yeah.
And find that skin. You have to find your skin and then fill it up, because a lot of us have skins, but it pack up with all kinds of things other people put in, and it's not your stuff. And it's
Mm.
one of the first things you have to really do is really, really understand yourself. And as Jennifer said, do a self-assessment, talk to yourself. And if you
Yeah.
find it's difficult to talk to yourself, talk to people who've been around you for a long time and
Yeah.
understand you, ask their opinion. And if you
Yeah.
can't do that, just think about, what do I end up doing? What role do I end up playing in areas in the office, in church, in the neighborhood, in
Yeah.
the family? What role do I end up playing? Those kinds of exercises give you the keys to figure out who you are. And once you have those basic keys, just go and develop it and get comfortable and get happy and generate your own mojo, as the people say.
Yeah. Don't let others steal your joy. Yeah.
Absolutely not. So we will continue our get comfortable in your skin commentary as we go along. But right on the other side of this in tune, Jennifer and I have some things to talk about to help us get comfortable in our skin.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yes, carry on. We are going to, at this stage, the reason that we decided to, you know, create a new version of our 5.8 reset is for the same thing. Because coming out of the pandemic, to
Yeah.
me, you're hearing more negatives than the positives. You're hearing, oh gosh, you don't know what we went through. Talking about, and we spoke about that, like how many deaths, how many friends died, and you're hearing that panic in the voice is like, oh gosh, we can't reach our goals again. Was it making sense, you know? And this reset program is really to bring you back on track. For you to just continue. If you had stopped, you will continue on that journey, but not just continue. As I mentioned before, a whole new outlook, a whole new approach, a very positive one. So yes, Terian, so we have the 5.8G Reset Forum. We have it online.
Yes.
So you have no excuse that you can't get transport to come, rain falling, because you could easily see the weather, nothing. It's going to be online at a very convenient time. So we're looking at the 30th of this month, which is a Friday. We are going to start at 5. So again, it's convenient. We're looking at a 3-hour period, 5 to 8. You're home and you're comfortable. And Terry, we are having, different aspects of it. So I'll just let you share in terms of some of the takeaways from this forum.
Yeah. I think based on the things that we've been saying, a lot of us have to find ourselves and reset. And because we are lost and we are not comfortable, it's not always easy to go into that exploration. And one of the first things that we are going to do is get into understanding who you are. The online forum allows us that intimacy to share with people with like minds and to share with us. And if you want to explore thoughts, ideas of things that you'd like to explore, you can do it there. And the thing, a lot of people with the online forum, whether the camera is on or the camera is off, whether you put your own name or you make up a name, it doesn't matter. And we have found when we've done it in the past, people have responded so positively to having an opportunity to just give their thoughts, meditate a little bit, and let your real thoughts come out. Because from those thoughts, you can have that sense of taking ownership, take it back, as you say, take back your power, empowering yourself, getting a sense of, or you may hear someone talk about an experience that you've not been able to articulate, and you'll be able to connect with someone about what is going on, all in that privacy and safety of the online environment. And this is where, when we get all that communication going, our coaching can help to not tell you where to go, but certainly shape and guide what you might be interested in, what kinds of things you may really like to do, or remind you of the kinds of things that you used to do. And not only do we look at your mindset, where you are in life, but one of the major areas where we have to begin to think about resetting is with our money. Our money. Because very often we end up in a place of discomfort because of how we've utilized our financial resources. And to be able to move forward and getting, whether you have to get out of a hole or transfer to a different platform, we find that just the ability to sit and talk, just as how we talk in this environment, it really, really helps. And so the 5.8G Reset online forum, we think, is a great first step to allow you to begin to identify where your comfort zone is, so that you begin to do things that would add to comfort and not continue to build discomfort or unease. And we are very excited, looking forward to this,
And Terry, and what happened, I remember in the last forum, where people said, you don't get the opportunity to talk. You mentioned before, not everybody have friends or neighbor or somebody to share and talk about the issues. You know, you don't, who am I going to talk to? And this forum, we are very experienced in this. So normally we will be chatting with you like this, or we may have guests on like this, but you can't communicate in that way. This is really an opportunity for you to open up. And as Terry and say, if you don't want us to see your face or know who talking, that's fine. That's not what it's all about. It is about that communication for us to hear what is your story, what is really on your mind, how can we help you?
Yeah.
And this is the opportunity to do that, which you wouldn't get to. Where are you going to get it?
Yeah.
So
we've been finding a lot of people who've been traumatized really by the work experience, and it is only now that they are out of it that they recognize that trauma.
Yes.
Only now that they have come out. And this process also allows you to talk about that. And the conversation is so important. And the conversation in a small group is really, really important to make you, think about changing your mindset. Or first of all, identify the mindset, because you have to identify something first, decide whether this works for me or doesn't. And based on that understanding, whether it works for you or it doesn't, then you can decide the direction of the change, because you might intensify something or you might try to eliminate something. It works always, and Jennifer, these little creatures called the gremlins that keep us back.
And you know what? I really want to encourage too, Terry Ann, those who reach my stage and feel that they reach and nothing can be done. Let me tell you, Terry Ann, I have seen the difference between the 60s and the 70s. And I know when you talk to somebody in the 80s, they will tell you there is a difference. So we need to recoup, look at it and say, hey, I find a home plenty, boy. What should I do? Or my money is stretching because I know I may not do X, but I want to do this now. All these things. And we need to look, because it's a difference with the spending habits from the 50 plus, the 60 plus, and the 70. Instead of you going the money going so. So we need to understand how to manage your finances at each stage. And the cost is only $200. Only $200. It is not a big thing to register. All you do is give us a call. We take your name and we send you the link for payment.
Yes.
And that's it. It's as simple as that. Especially you on Gael, give us a call. The numbers are there. Give us that call and we will just register you. And that's it. I'm beautiful, looking forward for you all to come on board with us, and journey with us.
One thing I would like to say also that people can look at, because when we had Jennifer Rouse on for 3 weeks ago, we talked about we've lost our passion.
Yes.
We talked about losing our passion and not being excited about things. So it might be that you know where you are, but there is nothing that you are excited about. And one of I think the most unfortunate and uncomfortable things could happen to you is to continue in life without giving yourself access to getting involved in whatever you're passionate about. Whether it's a person, an animal, place, thing, but to get excited, because if we don't have that fire in us, that excitement, it's not going to happen. So part of what is going to be reset is identifying and rekindling that passion for life that you have. So, as Jennifer said, we really, really look forward to having you join us. You know our numbers. Give us a WhatsApp. Send a WhatsApp. Say you're interested, and we'll send you the banking information to make the deposits. But we need to be comfortable in our skins. We need to be happy. We need to be ourselves. We need to reset. So we look forward to seeing you there. I hope everybody had a great week. So bye.
Bye.
50 Plus Tribe and follow us from Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean.
Thank you for joining us on this Connections 50 Plus 5.8G Alive show.
We hope you enjoyed the lively conversation and look forward to seeing you next week.
Don't forget to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
We really love getting your feedback. Bye for now.